Yes, so for those of you who don't know who I am, and you guys should know by now, but allow me to reintroduce myself. I go by the name of Mr. Beezy. I am an international motivational speaker. Essentially, I travel all across the UK, speaking to young people like yourselves to go out into the world and to be successful, go out into the world to live your dreams. So, at the beginning of this week, I kicked off the week for you guys where we were talking about your goals, your aspirations, the sort of careers that you guys wanted to go into, and what sort of character traits that you guys needed. We spoke about hunting season and how you guys have to pursue the success that you want, and that no one's going to give you the success that you want. You have to go after it, right? We spoke about my phrase, no grind, no glory, that I have on my top, right? And what that essentially means is that you can't expect to be successful without working hard for it. And I made a point of letting people know that, what, hard work cannot be avoided. In life, you get two options when it comes to your career, right? You can actually do a career that you don't like doing, or you can end up in a career that you really enjoy doing. But one thing both career paths have in common is both career paths still require hard work. So whether you like your job or whether you don't like your job, they both still require you to work hard. So I really wanted to highlight the fact that, it's so important that you just kind of understand what career path you want to go into now and put the hard work now in so that you can end up doing a career that you guys really enjoy doing, right? And I think that's really key, like understanding the career that you want to do, right? Then another point that I made in the first session this week, and it's this, the most important thing is just to have some sort of career or destination that you're working towards. And you know what, if you apply for a certain career and you find out later on down the line, could be 2 years, could be 3 years, could even be 5 years from now, that you know what, this isn't the career path for you, then that's absolutely fine. You are allowed to change your mind, because so many people, I think, when it comes to careers, have this mindset of like the moment they choose a career, then that's it. Like, their life is set for life and they can't change their mind. And no, 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 no. I want you to understand you can actually change your mind. And another thing that we spoke about was the different types of careers that you could go into. And I think one of the questions I was asked was, how do I find my ideal career? And I remember saying to them, it's all about finding something you enjoy, right? And I know it sounds so cliche, like, hey, find a career that you enjoy and you'll love it, and la la la. But it's deeper than that, right? What we did was we said, look, find a career that find something that you enjoy. Like, what is something you enjoy? And then we want you to identify what are three possible jobs you could do from the things that you enjoy. So, for example, I made a point that, you know what, there's a guy who likes eating food and he made a career out of eating. Some people have seen the program, it's called Man versus Food. We've got people making careers out of TikTok. We've got people making careers from gaming. We've got people making careers from so many different things that were not the traditional sort of jobs 10 years ago, right? So here's a recap for you, right? If you're still in a position where you don't know what you want to do, what is it that you actually enjoy? So if this is your first time logging on this week and this is your first session, I want you to think about what is it that you actually enjoy doing and what are three possible careers you could do. So here's an example, right? If you're someone who likes football, you can be a coach, you can be a manager, you can be a physio, you can work in finance. Like, those are 3 to 4 possible jobs you could do around football. If you like gaming, right? You could be a games designer, you could be a games tester, you could be those people who literally go around playing in different game tournaments all over the world and getting paid to play and getting sponsorships and you name it. So there's so many things you can do from the things that you actually enjoy doing. And I made a point that, I speak for a living. And the crazy thing is I speak in a lot of schools, a lot of colleges, a lot of universities all over the country. And I made a point that, what, I used to get in trouble for speaking in school, and now I get paid to speak in schools, right? So some of you, and I'm not encouraging you guys getting in trouble, right? But what I'm saying is some of the things that you might end up doing for a career, you might be getting in trouble for it right now. What do I mean by that? You might be someone like me who spoke too much in lesson and You might have a career in speaking. You might be someone who spends a lot of time on their computer console and you get in trouble for it, but then you might end up going into the gaming industry for your career. So that's one thing I want you to think about. And I think that actually takes me very nicely onto my first slide, right? And that's why I've got dream big as my first slide. And I just want you guys from in the chat, do me a favor, if you're with me, if you're hearing me right now, everyone just write dream big in the chat for me. Everyone just write dream big in the chat so I know that I've got my people with me, right? Let's get a dream big in the chat. Okay, I can see the comments coming through. That's right, dream big, right? Now, let me tell you something that I've realized. Over the years, what I've realized is this, like it's like the older students get, the smaller their dreams become. Like the older students get, the less they believe in themselves. And the reason why, when you look at my presentation, I've got an image of a child, and the child is flying on the book, is because if there's one thing I can tell you about children, children just know how to dream big. You ask a young child, what do you want to do for your career? I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a fireman, I want to do this. They're so specific with what they want to do, but not only are they specific with what they want to do, you can see from their answers that they just have big dreams. Like no one's kind of, influenced them. No one's kind of told them that, you know what, they can't do what they said they want to do. And you can tell that from their approach, right? And I want people to understand this, right? You will go as far as your imagination will take you, right? In life, you will go as far as your imagination will take you. And that's why I encourage people to dream big. You see, I could come at you today with all these cheesy quotes, quotes like, hey, if you aim for the moon. Why? Because even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. And come on, guys. I don't need to do that with you guys. I'm just saying I need you guys to dream big. And why I say dream big is because you've got nothing to lose by dreaming big, but you've got everything to gain. You've got nothing to lose from dreaming big, but you've got everything to gain. And this is why I need you to dream big. Like, failing does not make you a failure. Failing does not make you a failure, guys. Only giving up does. So this is why I need you to dream big. So let me use myself as an example, right? I use myself as an example. I never forget the year 2017, right? I said to myself, you know what? I've been speaking all across the UK for about 5, 6 years now. I believe I'm good enough to be an international speaker and speak in different countries abroad, right? So so I said to myself in 2017, "Do you know what? This year I'm going to be an international speaker." I had no international connections, didn't know how I was going to make it happen, but the one thing I had is belief, right? Everyone just put in the chat for me, belief is important. Come on now, if you're with me, just put in the chat for me, belief is important. That's right. I need to highlight this today, right, guys? Belief is important. So, if you want to be successful, if you want to achieve your dreams, you need to understand that belief is important, right? And I'm saying, and I'm not going to be cheesy and be like, when you believe you will achieve and start sprinkling fairy dust. But no, I need you to understand there's so much power behind believing. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Sorry. Right now, what am I saying to you guys, right? There's so much power behind belief. So 2017, I said to myself, yes, this year I'm going to be an international speaker. Let me tell you what happened, guys. 3 months into 2017, sorry, 3 months into 2017, I got my first opportunity to speak abroad, and it was in Aberdeen in Scotland. So, I got on the plane, flew to Aberdeen. I was excited when I got there. I was taking like selfies outside the airport, going on Snapchat using like the Aberdeen filter to prove to people I was in Aberdeen. I went, I delivered my talk, and it was amazing, right? And I came back to the England, so excited, like, oh my days, I told you guys I was gonna be international speaker. Look at me now. And my friend was like, why are you so excited, bro? I was like, because I'm an international speaker now, you know? He was like, what are you talking about? He was like, you were still in the UK, bro. And I was like, oh yeah, I was still in the UK. And you know what? I didn't let that comment discourage me. I said, you know what? Cool. Let me make my goal, let me make my dream a bit more specific then. So I said to myself, I will be an international speaker this year and I will speak outside of the UK. And let me tell you what happened that year, guys. A few months later, in July, right? So about 4 months later after March, right? I ended up going to Geneva in Switzerland to speak. And that is what happens when you have a big dream. And let me tell you something about Geneva in Switzerland, guys. They liked me so much in Switzerland that they have been flying me out to Switzerland every single year since 2017. The only year I didn't go to Switzerland was during COVID. But after COVID, I was there twice last year. They've already confirmed that they're booking me twice in July this year. All that came from me dreaming big. Because let me tell you something as well, and why I'm really hung up on dreaming big, right? Before I made the decision to say I wanted to be an international speaker, I never got one opportunity to speak abroad. I never got one opportunity like international inquiry. But the moment I said I want to be an international speaker, that's when all these opportunities to speak abroad happened. Right, let me tell you another example real quickly before I move on to my next point. I never forget, it was about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was talking, oh, I was presenting my business at like a teachers' conference at Colchester Football Stadium, right? And I remember a moment like during the break, I went onto the pitch. Now I didn't walk onto the pitch, but I opened the doors and I was able to like just walk to the seating area and just see like the whole stadium. The grass was all nicely cut and everything professional. And I remember making a statement, guys. And I looked around the pitch and I said, you know what? One day I'm going to be motivating professional football teams. Now, you have to understand the difference. And this is why being specific is so important. When I wanted to be an international speaker, I said, this year I'm going to be an international speaker. And it happened within 3 months. I had spoken abroad twice within 7 months. The year I said I wanted to be an international speaker. But with motivating professional football teams, I didn't put a specific date on it. I just said, one day I'm going to be motivating professional football teams. And do you know what happened, guys? 4 years later, 4 years later, I got my first opportunity to motivate a professional football team, and it was the academy of Tottenham Hotspur's Football Club. That's right, a Premier League football team. That's why it's so important for you to dream big. In fact, in just a few weeks' time, I'll be going over to Fulham to deliver a workshop and a talk at Fulham Academy as well. This is what happens when you dream big. You've got nothing to lose by dreaming big, guys, but you've got everything to gain, right? Now, my next point for you guys is simply this, and that's act now. Nice, right? Act now. Now, talk to me in the chat, right? Who can relate to this? How many of you have ever experienced this before, where you've said to yourself, I know I've got stuff to do, but I'll do it tomorrow? If that's you, put a number 2 in the chat for me, please. So if you know you've had something to do before, and you looked at it and you said, "Dad, you know what? I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow." Right? Brilliant, brilliant. I can see the twos coming through in the chat right now. Now, as you can see on the screen, it says act now. Because so many people say to themselves, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, let me help you guys out and give you guys a news flash today. Tomorrow doesn't exist. That's right, I said it. Tomorrow doesn't exist. You will never ever live in tomorrow. When the clock strikes midnight, you go from today into today. So let me kind of break that down for you real quickly. I don't want that to go over your heads, right? So when the clock says 11:59 tonight and it strikes midnight, do we all agree that it's today? If you agree that 11:59 tonight is still today, just put a number three in the chat for me real quick. Yeah? Fantastic. And do we agree that when the clock strikes midnight, that that new day becomes that? Actually, no. Do we agree that when the clock strikes midnight, that it's now become a new day? If you believe it becomes a new day the moment the clock strikes midnight tonight, just give me a yes in the chat, please. Okay, lovely, lovely. I can see the yes, I can feel the energy. So watch this. So that new day is now today. So you literally go from today into today. So if you're gonna get anything done, guys, get it done today. If you're gonna make any changes, make the changes today. I never forget when I was talking to a group of year 9 students, and I think I scared them by accident, right? Because I was doing my assembly, got really passionate, and I was like, today is the most important day of your life. And they all just looked at me like, what? And then one day was just like, what about my birthday? Right? And I was like saying, hey, 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 don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that your birthday isn't important, right? But the point I was trying to make was simply this, guys, is that you know what? You can't do anything about yesterday in the past because it's gone. You can't do anything about tomorrow and the future because it hasn't come yet. I said the only thing you can physically do something about is today and right now. And that's why I say today is the most important day of your life. And that's why I encourage you guys to make the most of today. Take action today and act now. Oh, my third point, guys, is confidence. It's confidence. Confidence is so important. But I want to find out from you guys who are watching me right now, right? When you hear the word confidence, what comes to your mind? Just give me your definition of confidence in the chat for me. But when you hear the word confidence, what comes to your mind? Give me, some of your definitions of the word confidence. Let's see what you guys think confidence is. Let's go, guys. What is your definition? So, can do the job or task easily without worrying. Yes, 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 I agree with that. Any other options? So we've got feeling focused and energized about something. These are some fantastic answers. Oh, we've got another one that's saying just believing in yourself. Okay, I understand that. I understand that. Now, watch this, guys. Watch this, guys. For me, confidence is two things. Confidence is number one, a conscious decision you have to make. And confidence is another way of saying you just need to believe in yourself. So let me tell you guys a quick story, right? So a couple of years ago, I went to Walsall College, and Walsall College is like near Birmingham, right? So they've got those accents where they like sound like they're singing when they're talking. Like, I'm from Birmingham, right? Now, hey, if you're from Birmingham, you know it's all love, my people, right? Now watch this. So I was delivering a talk, and I remember during that talk, I picked out a boy from the audience at random. And I just said to him, hey man, what's your dream for your life? And he said to me, I want to be a professional opera singer. And I was like, whoa, that's like not a typical job that you hear every day, right? So I was like, I had to, kind of repeat. I said, you want to be a professional opera singer? He was like, yeah, I want to be a professional opera singer. I was like, oh my days, that's amazing. You got to come to the front for us. So he comes to the front, and I was like, bro, so you're telling me you want to be a professional opera singer? He was like, yeah, I want to be a professional opera singer. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Never seen a professional opera singer before. I was like, please go on, like sing for us. He was like, nah, mate, it's not happening. I was like, no, don't worry, like it'll be fine. Just go on, sing for us. He's like, nah, mate, it's not happening. And I was like, well, why won't you sing for us? And he just said to me, I'm just not a confident person. He said, I'm just not a confident person. And I wonder, how many of you have ever said that to yourself before? Like, I'm just not a confident person. So, I decided to, kind of pry a bit more. So I asked him another question, right? And I said to him, do you know what? If you was to become that professional opera singer, how would it make you feel? And, it was like a scene out of a movie. He was like happy, proud. And I was like, fantastic, right? So I was like, go on then, sing. And he was like, no. Right? So I was like, oh my God, it didn't work. But then I had a light bulb moment and I really understood what was going on with him. So I asked him another question, guys. I said to him, do you know what? When I asked you to sing, what went through your mind? And he told me that everybody's going to laugh at me. So I said, so what you've done is you've believed something that's not true, you've believed something that hasn't happened yet, and you've allowed it to dictate your actions. And you know what? So many of us do that on a daily basis. We believe things that aren't true, we believe things that haven't happened yet, and we allow it to dictate our actions, right? So then I said to him, do you know what? How do you expect to have a career where you'll be singing in front of millions of people that you don't know if you can't even sing in front of a small room of people that you do know? And I don't know what that triggered in him, right, guys? But the next thing I heard was literally this. He was just like, "Ra, ra, 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 ra." Now, you have to understand, I'm not an opera singer. I'm just trying to help you guys understand what the guy did. And he was so amazing that by the time he finished singing, when he was walking back to his seat, guys, he literally got a standing ovation from everyone that was in that room today. And you know what? I never forget the look that he had on his face. He literally went back to his seat looking like this, like, I said, you know what? That's what happens when you make a decision to be confident. Your confidence is rewarded. Your confidence is rewarded. Now, hear me out, guys. Confidence is a conscious decision you need to make, and confidence at times just requires you to step outside your comfort zone. And I know we don't like hearing that, right? We don't like stepping outside our comfort zone. But let me just help you out when it comes to stepping out your comfort zone for a moment, right? I always say to people, stepping outside of your comfort zone is like when you go swimming. Now, is there anyone in my audience that's ever been swimming before? If you've been swimming before, give me a number 4 in the chat real quickly. Let me know. If I've got swimmers out there, I'm not the best of swimmers, but I can splash a bit. You know what I'm saying? All right. So we've got some swimmers in the crowd. I love it. I love it. I love it. Right. Now I don't know if you're like me. But the first thing I do whenever I go swimming is I do what I call the cold water test, right? The cold water test, right? I have to test how cold the water is before I get into the water. So you know what I do? I go to the side of the swimming pool, I get my big toe, and I dip it in the water. And my usual reaction is this. I'm usually like, "Oh, okay, water's freezing." But I'm in my shorts, then I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go swimming. And what I do is I force myself to get into the water. Now I know I'm not as brave as some of you. Some of you, you jump into water, you do cannonballs into the water, you dive into it. That's not me. I literally go into the water like this. I'm like, oh, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold, right? And that's how I'm going into the water, right? Now, although the initial shock of me going into the water is causing me to step outside of my comfort zone because the water is freezing. After a few seconds of me being inside the water, I'm like, hold on a second, the water's warming up. It's not that bad anymore. It's not that bad anymore. And that's what I realized, guys. This is why you need to make a decision to be confident and step outside your comfort zone. Because when you step outside your comfort zone for long enough, you realize that it's actually not that bad. But what happens is majority of the time is you never step outside your comfort zone long enough to find out. So when you're thinking about your careers, when you're thinking about your dreams and your future, Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to try things that you've never tried before. Like you might just end up doing a career that you never thought you would do, and you actually end up loving it. And I'm a living testament to that. I never wanted to be a motivational speaker, but I love being a motivational speaker. Come on, guys. I never wanted to do what I am doing today. I never had the dream of traveling the world, motivating and inspiring people. But I cannot think of anything else I would rather do today. I cannot see myself doing any other job than the job that I'm doing today. And this is why at times you have to be prepared to be confident and step outside of your comfort zone. Another thing that is required to be successful and get to that career that you want to do is determination. Now, I know we've heard it so many times, you have to be determined. Determination is one of those themes, one of those words that we hear all the time. But I want to kind of approach it from a different angle and say this. It's easy to be determined on the days where you're having a good day. It's easy to be determined when everything's going well. I need you to be determined on those days when you're not in the mood. I need you to keep your determination on those days when you feel like giving up. I need you to stay determined, guys, on those days when you're tired. Those are the days where I need your determination to kick in. Now, what's going to help you to be determined? Understanding why you are doing this. I think a lot of the times when we speak to you about your future and your career, we're not speaking to you enough about why you should do it. And I want you guys to understand why you want to go into that career, why you are doing it. These things are so important. Like when you're thinking about your future and your career, why do I want to do that career? What is it about that career that makes me just so interested in it, that makes me just resonate with it, right? And relate to it and just want to be a part of it? These are some of the questions you need to ask yourself. Who do you want to make proud in your life? What time, like, what is your why? Like, why do you want to do it? And your why should drive your determination. Determination, guys, is also a choice, right? But I like to refer to determination as our energy, right? Now, I want to ask you guys a question today. And, feel free to answer freely. I've got a question for you. What's the most important feature on your mobile phone? Anybody, just write in the chat for me what you think the most important feature on your mobile phone is. Okay, let's see the answers. Someone said the actual phone. Someone said the on switch. We've got another one that's saying Snapchat. Another one saying TikTok. Someone else saying making calls, messages, photos. All right, so we've got loads of answers coming in the chat right now. But let me break down to you what the most important feature of your mobile phone is. The most important feature on your mobile phone is the battery life. That's right, because going on Snapchat, going on TikTok, making phone calls, looking at your photos, all those things that were mentioned, you can't do any of those things if your phone is dead. All right? But let me tell you something, all right? We are just like our mobile phones. Here's what I mean. Who can relate to this? That when your phone is 100% charged, there's a confidence that you have. You can go anywhere in the country, you can have multiple apps open, and your phone isn't gonna die. If you agree with that, just put a yes in the chat for me. If you've got that confidence when your phone is 100% charged, right? Yeah, so we've got some yeses coming through, right? People are agreeing. Now watch this. As you go through the day, and the battery life starts to go down on your phone, and your phone gets to about 50%, there's still no reason to panic. Why? At 50%, you can still have multiple apps open, you can make phone calls, you go on the internet, you can do what you need to do, and your phone can still operate at a good standard. right? But talk to me, family. When your phone gets to 20%, what happens? Tell me in the chat, man, what happens when your phone gets to 20%? Let me know. I know you guys know. All right, we've got some answers coming through. We've got panic, panic, and panic, right? No, okay. We've got get a notification. Okay, what else? What else? We've got, okay, yes, that's the answer I'm looking for right there. The color of the bar changes. Now I've got an iPhone, so for you guys on Android, I don't know what happens on an Android. And hey, no disrespect, but I can talk from experience, right? But on iPhone, two things happen. Number one, you get a notification. And with that notification, it gives you an option to put your phone in low power mode, right? But the second thing I realize is the color of the bar of the battery changes. And that is an indication of, hey, if you don't charge me within a certain period of time, I'm going to die. Please don't kill me. Please charge me, right? And I want you to understand something. We are just like our mobile phones. When we are 100% charged, we've got enough sleep, we've got enough rest, we perform at the best. We've got the best level of focus, we can pay attention in our lessons, and we're good. And as you go throughout the day and you get to 50%, you're still okay. You can still pay attention, you can still focus, you can still perform at a high level. But as you're reaching the end of the day and you get to 20%, well, here's what happens now at 20%. That's when you start to lose your focus. That's when the lesson begins to become jarring and you're struggling to pay attention in lesson. Here's the scary thing, guys. Some of you are coming to school on 20%. Some of you are coming to college on 20%. And that's why by period one, you're ready to go home because you haven't recharged yourself. And if I can encourage you guys to do anything, make sure you charge yourself so that you can have the right energy levels. Could you just imagine if I came on this workshop today, I came on this talk, and I came like this? Yeah, so today is going to be amazing. We're just going to cover so much things, guys. It's so important that you guys just believe in yourself. It's important that you guys work hard. That energy is so low. But when I come with the energy that I'm coming with, like, woo, let's do this, baby. No grind, no glory, hunting season. You got to dream big. You have to act now. You have to be confident. You have to be determined. That's when you guys can feed off of my energy now. See, there's a difference in energy, and your energy plays a big part for your success. Now, hear me out. I'm not expecting you to go into your lessons like, woo! Hello, Vince. Hello, sir. I can't wait for your lesson. No, that's not what I'm saying, because you'll probably get in trouble for shouting in the first place, right? But I'm just saying, have enough energy so you're not feeling tired in your lesson, so that you can have 100% focus and pay attention to what your teachers are teaching, because your energy will also determine your level of determination. I don't want that to go over your head. So let me say that again a bit slow. I know I can talk fast at times, right? Your energy will determine your level of determination. So this is why your energy levels are so important, right? Now, another point I want to talk to you guys about today is this, man. Don't count the days, make the days count. Don't count the days, make the days count. Now, this is relevant in so many scenarios, right? So, for example, if you're watching this and you've got exams this year, the message is simple. Don't count the days up until your exams. Make every single day up until your exams count. If you're watching this and you don't have exams, right, then guess what? Don't count the days, right? Make the days count, right? Because you have to understand that how you become successful is by making every single day count. Where you end up 5 years from now is determined by what you do today, and then what you do the next day, and the next day, and the next day. That's why you have to make every single day count. You know, sometimes when we talk about change and the things we have to do, we think that we've got to make these major changes. No, 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 no. It's the smallest things that make the biggest difference. And it's doing the small things consistently every single day. What do I mean? For example, it's like doing that half an hour of studying and revision every single day. After a while, those hours, those half an hours, they add up to hours, then it adds up to amount weeks, then it adds up to months, depending on how early you start, right? So don't count the days, make every single day count. You know, they're saying, oh, we've all got 24 hours in a day, and your success is dependent on how you spend and manage your 24 hours. If there's one thing I want to encourage you guys to do today, it's this: have a timetable that you are following outside of school. That's right. Have a timetable. See, because the first thing that happens when you come to school or college, right, is your school or college, they give you a timetable to follow whilst you're there. And the crazy thing about our lives, yeah, the lives we live when we're not in school, we're not in college, we don't have a timetable that will follow it, right? So it's so important that you give yourself a timetable that you're following outside of school and college. And in that time, guys, schedule time for your work, schedule time for your free time, right? These things are really, really important. It's all about balance. Now, I need you to understand something this year, guys. I need you to understand something. You get what you believe. You get what you believe, right? Your belief in yourself. And I know I've spoken about this a bit earlier, but I really want to enforce this. You get what you believe. Henry Ford has a popular quote that says this. He said, if you think you can do something, he said, you're absolutely right. And he also said, if you think you can't do something, you are absolutely right. So I want to break it down for you. If you believe you can do something, you're absolutely right. If you believe you can't do something, you are absolutely right. So that leads me to ask you the question, what are you believing? Because when we think about careers and people not being sure about what career they want to do, a lot of the times it's got a lot to do with their belief. Like they're just not sure if they are good enough to be able to do the career that they say that they want to do. And I'm letting you guys know today, you get what you believe. So many students ask themselves this question, yeah, but what if I fail? You get what you believe. How about you ask yourself the question, what if I succeed? What if everything goes to plan? What if it does work out the way I want it to work out? What if I do make like you got to change the picture that you are painting? Because if you can change the picture you are painting, you can change your belief. If you change the picture you are painting, you change your belief. So this is why it's so important that you understand, you get what you believe. A lot of you, your ability has never been the issue. Your belief has been, right? Your ability is not the reason why you're not getting that 7 or 8 or 9. It's the fact that you don't believe you can get a 7 or 8 or 9. The reason why people don't end up in jobs paying them a certain amount is not because they don't have the ability to get a job that, for example, can pay them £100,000 a year. It's because they don't believe they are good enough to have a job that will pay them £100,000 a year. And I just need you to understand you are good enough. Okay, okay. You are good enough. You see, if you're watching me right now and you're listening to me right now, I need you to hear these words that I'm about to say. Everything you need to be successful, to have a successful year, to have a successful life, it's already within you, guys. You are good enough. You are worth it. You can do this. No, 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 no. Let me say that again. You are good enough. You are worth it. You can do this. You get what you believe. And I just need to reinforce this message of you've got nothing to lose by believing in yourself, but you've got everything to gain. You see, I need you to understand that if you believe in yourself and you take action and things don't work out the way you want them to work out, you're no different to how you currently are right now. If you believe in yourself and you take action and things work out the way you want them to work out, your life can change forever. And you see just that thought of my life can change forever, that is enough to motivate me to believe in myself. The fact that just by believing, I can transform and change my life forever. So, guys, that's why I need you to understand. You get what you believe. Come on, man. It's time to believe. I need you to understand something for me. This is your year of greatness. Let me say it again, because you might not have heard me. You might not have understood what I've said. I need you to understand this, guys. This is your year of greatness, right? I need you to believe that. I know. You might not feel great. You're not going to feel great every day, guys. Do me a favor. Don't let your feelings control you. I need you to control your feelings this year. You don't need to feel great to understand that you are great. And I need you to understand it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to have a day where you don't feel like it. It's okay to have a day where you're not in the mood. But hear me out. A bad day does not have to turn into a bad week. A bad week doesn't have to turn into a bad month, guys. Acknowledge that you've not had a great day, and the moment you wake up the next day, start that day fresh, hit that reset button, and let's go again. I need you to understand this is your year of greatness. What am I saying? You will never have a brand new beginning to this year. But what you can do from today is you can give yourself a brand new ending. So I say, let's make the rest of this year the best of this year. That's right. Let's make the rest of this year, guys, the best of this year. So as I wrap up today, I want to leave you with this. You can do this. You see, the struggle is real. And let me tell you about the struggle, guys. Let me tell you about the struggle. I never forget about 5 years ago, I was giving a talk at Brunel University. And, it was a really mature audience. I'm talking about, our parents' generation. And there was a lady in the audience and she asked me a question. She said, Mr. Beezy, I hear what you're saying, but I'm struggling. And I said, well, what are you struggling with? She said, well, I'm at university part-time, I'm working part-time, and I'm trying to raise a family full-time. And she said, balancing the three, she said, I'm really struggling. Do you have any advice for me? And I was like, whoa, you're dealing with a lot. So I asked her another question. I said to her, just talk to me for a moment. I said, just real quickly, I said, how long do you have left of your course? And she said, I've got a year and a half left. I said, okay, that's amazing. I said, I know what you need to do. She said, what is it? Please tell me. I said, I need you to keep struggling for the next year and a half. And she looked at me like, what? Well, that's not very motivational. No, I said, you've misunderstood me. I said, the reason why I need you to keep struggling for the next year and a half is because in a year and a half's time, you're going to get some qualifications, and that's going to put you in a position where you may never have to struggle another day again in your life. But understand this, if you give up now and you throw in the towel now, you're not going to get those qualifications, and that may leave you in a position where you end up struggling the next 30, 40 years of your life. But understand this, the struggle cannot be avoided. So choose today which struggle you want. She's like, I'll take a year and a half. And you guys might be in a similar position. You might have a year and a half left of school. You might have 3 years left of school. You might have the 5 years left of school. You might be in college. You might be in your last year of college, your first year of college. Whatever it is, struggle your way to get your qualifications. Short-term sacrifice, long-term gain. Or as I say, short-term pain, long-term gain, guys. You have to be prepared to pay the price now so that you can enjoy later on in life. Because if you're so focused on enjoying now and not doing the things you need to do now, then you could end up paying the price later on in life. But there's one thing that can't be avoided. There is always a price that needs to be paid. And that price right now might be you just simply sacrificing your time to do your work, guys. And I'm telling you, the sacrifice, it is worth it. I ain't saying it's easy. I ain't saying it's easy. I'm saying when you work hard and you're making effort and you put the work in, it's worth it, guys. And I'm telling you guys, anything is possible. There is nothing that you guys can't achieve. You will go as far as your imagination will take you. The biggest obstacle in your life isn't your teaching, isn't your family, isn't your area, isn't the government. It's you. And if you can get out of your own way, whoa, there is nothing that you guys won't be able to achieve. So, guys, I leave you with this. I leave you with this. You know the vibes. With no grind, there is no glory. So let's get grinding, because now it's time for us to go on the hunt for that success, because it's hunting season. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. You guys have been absolutely amazing. This careers week has been absolutely amazing. We hope that you guys have got so much out of this careers week. This week, I want to send a big shout out to the guys that make happen for putting on such a fantastic week where, you know, there's been various workshops for you guys to watch and attend. So please, 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 you know, remember you are great and this is your year of greatness. Thank you so much.